Good morning.
What's up? Vara here. Like that one Zuko clip.
Hello, Zuko here.
I don't know what to call you guys yet, so I'm just gonna call you guys sup. Gonna hit a little upper day. Skip to this time if you want to hear the lore part, but I'm gonna start this video with a lift just to get over the entertaining part. That'll do good on TikTok and Instagram because I'm an influencer now. Just kidding. I don't know what I am. I honestly don't know why I'm even doing this, but thank you all for your support. I'm gonna go hit a lift now. For those that don't know, I do listen to music through an MP3 player. That's how I'm able to record and work out at the same time. I recommend all of y'all. Holy shit, I need a haircut. Yeah, I listen to music through an MP3 player. Today, I'm filming this actually after the upper day, but today, I think, as usual, Pierce the Veil was and you'll see that boy who could see the whole world. Fire, listen to it. But yeah, I listen to all my music through an MP3 player. It's not that hard. It's $20. It costs like 2 months of a Spotify membership, and you're not a slave to subscriptions. But yeah, let's cut to the video. What's up? This will be my second video. I really hope that the audio quality is better. It's gonna be a lot more lore than anything. I have a little notebook of the questions you guys asked me on the Instagram. I assume a lot of you are here from the Instagram, so and I want to show more personality. I noticed in my last video I was so fucking robotic. I don't know how. I've been getting so many so much support and like really nice comments about that. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't feel like I deserve that because that video, looking back at it, bro, I was like presenting to like in like my high school. That was like a high school presentation, bro, or like a video submission. That shit, like that was so bad. But I appreciate the comments regardless. But I really want to do better because I know I can. Starting from the beginning. Hi, my name is Vara. I am 19. I am in college. I'm a freshman. One of the first questions I got was what school I go to, and I'm not telling you that. And if you think you know, no, you don't. I'm originally from Missouri, and I'm based in the United States. A lot of people also ask me that. But I'm originally from Missouri, and now I'm in North Carolina. I've been lifting for about 4 years. This coming Christmas will be my fifth. I've been lifting since I was about 15. Yeah, that sounds about right, 15. Oh, how did I start out in the gym? Funny thing, I watched Seven Deadly Sins. That was my first ever anime that I ever watched. And I saw Bon. If you know, you know. Bon, like his physique was like what I wanted because it's just like all torso, all abs, right? And everyone starts going to the gym for abs, maybe to lose weight. But if you're a skinny kid like me, I started off at 110 pounds. Maybe I'll put a little picture right here. I started off at 110 pounds at 5'5", maybe. Right now, I'm weighing it at 165ish, 160 pounds on an off day, and I'm 5'6", so I'm not that tall. So if any of you guys see me in person, don't say you're smaller than you are on camera because that really hurts my feelings. How to start getting into the gym. If I have to be honest, I never really struggled being consistent in the gym. When I first started, I went to Planet Fitness because they were doing that teenager summer free membership, and I was going every day that I could, which was probably 6 to 5 days a week. I was doing full body, but this was back in the time before the great switch of low volume. So, drop sets, supersets, bro split, that was all like the thing. You know what I'm saying? Like that was when it was in its prime. You know what I mean? Gymshark was way bigger, and just a lot like I want to say it was like kind of after Ziz, where he hyped it up, and like the fitness influencer like sphere was just very hype. It was very hype focused. You know what I mean? That was around the time of Lex Little We Go Gym. If you know that one. Did full body, 2 sets of everything. Like, but I wasn't training hard, and I didn't know how to train, so I kind of just was like, I might as well just hit every muscle group because I don't know what I'm doing. Eventually, that fall, I went to club fitness. So still 15 years old, I went to club fitness because the membership for Planet Fitness expired, and I wanted some better machines. And I stayed there for about 2 years up until I was 17ish, and then I moved to a private gym near my home, and now I go to a private gym around here because I'm in college now. But oh, I'm gonna tangent a lot also. Like I'm gonna go on rants and stuff, and I might cut it out, I might leave it. I don't know. But how to get started in the gym, if I have to be honest, you need the right motivation. For me, I wanted so badly to look like an anime character. I watched JoJo's Bizarre Adventure after I watched Seven Deadly Sins, and seeing that when I was 15, and Jonathan and Joseph Joestar were supposed to be 18-year-olds, and they were like 220 lean, boulder shoulders, bigger than their heads. That really put some body dysmorphia in me, and Baki. And being the naive kid I was, I didn't really think that was not attainable. I thought I could attain it. So yeah, that's what started me getting into the gym. Um, but I feel like I'm not the right person to ask because I've always been physically active. I've always like kind of gravitated towards a more physical life. So starting the gym was never really was never really hard for me. It is for some people, you know what I mean? Because it's a change of lifestyle. My lifestyle didn't change that much. I just had a more consistent physical outlet, if you get what I mean. Will I compete? Yes. Yes. No time soon, though, because I still feel the need that I need to put on maybe 10 more pounds of muscle, or at least body weight, maybe be around 170, 180. And I want to have money to get a coach because the last thing you want to do is compete. You diet down, not knowing what you're doing, lose all the muscle you had, and then you compete. You don't even get like top five, and then you binge eat afterwards, and you mess up all your hormones. And especially being a natural, like that can seriously mess you up, man. And I know that from experience because I had some hormonal issues when I was a kid, and it definitely stopped me from putting on the muscle that I could have put on. And the hormonal issues were because of something else that I'm going to get into kind of later in the video. So yes, I will compete probably when I'm 25, maybe 26ish. How did I gain the weight that I had? Have I ever lean bulked? I have never bulked or cut in my life by the definition of what the internet says, which a bulk is like, come on, y'all, winter bulk, 4,000 calories a day, drinking chocolate milk like Sam Swoop. Like, no, I never did that because I unhealthily place a lot of my self-worth in my body image, in my own body image. So I like to stay lean year round. What I have figured out is you can do this, which is find your maintenance calorie and eat within a 200 to 400 calorie range of that. Meaning, if your calories are 2,000 a day, you can eat between 1,600 and 2,400. Because what I found is that it doesn't really matter what you eat day to day. It matters your total calories over the week. So if your maintenance is 2,000 calories and over the week you consumed 14,000 calories, divide that by 7, you still at 2,000 calories a day, right? But then let's say one day you ate 3,000 calories, but then the next day you ate 1,000 calories. These are all made up numbers, by the way. Don't eat 1,000 calories a day. You will like want to die. But at the end of the week, you'll still probably weigh the same. You just might feel worse for one of those days. But what I have done is I did that to where if thought I was getting a little too chunky, maybe I would dial it back a little bit and I'd be in a deficit for maybe a week. And for me, because my body likes to get rid of stuff really fast, like I have to fight to put on pounds. It let me shred down when I thought I was getting a little chubby, because I was getting a little chubby from time to time, at least for what I consider chubby. Maybe body dysmorphia was well, we all know how that goes, right? Um, so yeah, that's kind of what I do. I guess you could call it like I called it main gaining. You know what I mean? Because as you gain muscle, which you will gain muscle, if you're eating the right macros, muscle is a lot more calorie intensive, meaning it takes a lot more to keep muscle. Muscle burns at a higher rate than fat to keep muscle. You know what I mean? So basically, you're upping your maintenance naturally. So if you were at 2,000, let's say you gain a pound of muscle, maybe now your maintenance is 2,200 because you need those 200 extra calories to maintain that muscle that burns a lot of calories. So naturally, then your maintenance is higher, which then means your range has moved up 200 calories. So what was once your low end of 1,600 and your high end of 2,400 is now that your maintenance is 2,200 because you weigh a little bit more and you have a little bit more muscle, your maintenance is now 1,800 to 2,600. You get what I'm saying? If this doesn't work for you, I'm sorry, but this worked for me, and I'm not a licensed professional. I'm not even a health coach. I don't even do any of that. But this is just what worked for me. What made me stay in the gym? Okay, this is where the lore kind of comes in. So freshman year, I had a really big friend group, and I thought we were different. You know, everyone thinks they're different in high school, right? We're gonna make it through high school. We're all gonna be friends by the end of high school. But what we failed to realize is that a lot of us will change, a lot of us will grow, and become people that we weren't before. You know what I mean? And I had a very similar experience with that, where some people were growing and I didn't like the person they were becoming. I was growing and they didn't like the person I was becoming, simply because we just had different goals, different things. And I met this girl and I thought we were, good. And then kind of my whole friend group kind of just like ditched me. And I don't blame them, because it was a very complex situation and there was a lot of emotion involved and a lot of just very tough things. And so when I got kicked out, I noticed that my friends were hanging out without me, and that really hurt me because I had always been the like, oh, come on, guys, come to my house. I had always been organizing events, and I never wanted to hold that over them. I never wanted to, because I don't think you should. I don't think that's what a good friend does. A true friend of virtue, I don't think they do that. I don't think they hold the good things they do above you. But it was just tough for me to see that all of my efforts to make sure this friend group was fun and had a lot of time to hang out was kind of just for nothing. But I use that very lightly because it wasn't for nothing necessarily, because I still got the experience, and happiness that you had is never happiness wasted. You should never feel guilty about the happiness you once had, saying, "Oh, it was wasted because maybe it was a fleeting relationship. Maybe the person isn't in your life anymore. Maybe the conditions in your life have changed." But that happiness that you felt at that moment is never wasted. But I digress. I then went on to kind of become a gym cell. Like the gym was kind of my whole life. It helped me cope with a lot of things going on in my head. I was struggling with depression and some minor forms of anxiety, and that led me to some very dark paths. And the gym was kind of my way to be level-headed. You know what I mean? I would spend 2 to 4 hours in the gym. I'm gonna be honest. It was not good, but it's because it was all I could do at the time, because I didn't have the right resources, the right knowledge, the right support, and I didn't have the want to get better, if you get what I mean. So eventually, I just kind of kept being a gym cell. Two friends came back to me after thinking about the situation for a while and kind of realizing, like, dang, what we did to Vara probably wasn't the best. and so they were like a double agent in this time because they still were talking to me. We were still on talking terms, but there was definitely some animosity between us, and I definitely didn't help with that. I can truly say I hated them for a long while, and I hated my parents for a long while, and I hated myself, really. I hated a lot of things, and in that hate, I only became more alone. If you look on my TikTok and on my Instagram, you'll see I put some captions. I'll put passages. I'm kind of reiterating a lot of that because that's where a lot of this stems from. And I'm only 19, so I'm not unk. So don't think this is like stories, 10, 20. No, no, no. It was like, I remember it like it was just yesterday because 2020 was like just yesterday. So I became a gym cell, 2 to 4 hour sessions at the gym. And then these two friends came back to me, and I noticed that that was when I really started accepting what had happened to me and accepting that people can change and grow. Because by accepting that other people can change and grow, I could accept within myself that I can change and grow. Because I had become so accustomed to disciplining my body, but not disciplining my mind. Because I was just running away from all my problems. And that's one thing I think is really sad, especially in the gym community nowadays, is you have very strong people that have chiseled their bodies, disciplined their bodies, and yet when you talk to them, there's not much going on upstairs. And I don't say that in a derogatory sense or in a way that I'm like, oh, I think smarter than you. I say it in a sense that it is kind of a, a missed opportunity when you can discipline your body and discipline your mind at the same time. And I really think that's like kind of beautiful, to be a smart thinker and also be able to be physically, you know what I mean. Anyways, so I'm 17. My two friends come back to me, Bryce and Soham, um, and they really helped me out of a rut. We hung out every weekend, went on side quests. We had our driver's license at this time. I was still going to the gym, 2 hour sessions, still very, very angry at myself and kind of the world. But then something changed that summer where I had a lot of time to ruminate, and I kind of always had it in myself to want to um, know myself deeper. I always felt a disconnection with myself because I would run away from a lot of my problems when I was a kid, and that kind of eventually, the problems that you have physically, you can overcome, but that mindset, that coping mechanism of running away, as you get older, if you don't confront it, you'll start running away from problems you can't run away from or you can't push through, which is that of mental problems. But eventually, I got the help I needed to. I started going to therapy, and really just my hormones got imbalanced. My serotonin was higher. I had friends again, which is a very anabolic thing. Having friends, having good relations around you with your parents, with your friends, with just general people is really anabolic. It can really set your hormones right. So all of my like 17th year summer, I was pretty much napping to probably develop mentally and um, fix myself hormonally because of the debt that depression had put me into. Depression had stumped my growth for a really long time because my hormones were out of whack. And then eventually, 18 rolls around. One other friend comes back to me. We start getting along really well. Bryce and Soam are still my OGs though. So yeah, that's really the lore right there. It's pretty crazy because social isolation has always been very tough on me, and I know that about myself, which is why college is a little tough for me because I don't have many friends. And I suppose that kind of ties in halfway to my changing in philosophy and thinking is I always urge people to think more, really, really dissect yourself, kind of dissect what makes you you. You know what I mean? Not labels, not single word. Like really figure out what makes you you. You know what I mean? And if there's parts that you don't like, figure out why you don't like them. Figure out how they became a part of you in the first place, and just think more. Because there's nothing better in this world than truly being like at peace with yourself and one with yourself. Anyways, Unk wisdom over. What made me start posting? Weirdly enough, this ties back into my little wisdom. My friend Bryce said that I should just start posting, and all the credit to him for where I've come now, because he said I started posting. Soam also said I started posting, but I didn't really believe him. But shout out to the both of them because they truly, I think, make me a better person and are true friends of virtue for me. Which a friend of virtue is someone that genuinely wants you to succeed in all aspects of life and will help you no matter what. They are true friends of virtue for me because all this wouldn't have happened if Bryce didn't second Soham in saying I should just start posting. What kept me posting was just the fact that I've always thought documenting my life seemed cool. And, although the gym may not be my life and it shouldn't be your life, it's an aspect of mine that can grow. You know what I mean? You get bigger, you get stronger, get leaner, all that stuff. And I just was like, it would be cool to see that. How do I balance the school and gym? If I have to be honest, I uh, don't have many friends in college. So a lot of my free time is not it's not spent up, you know. And I don't drink and I don't smoke, so that kind of leaves parties off limits for me. I don't really get into the whole thing with uh, hookup culture and all that because I believe that meaningless kind of rots your soul. But that's a superstition of mine, and I don't place that on anyone else. I only place that on myself. So if you partake in that, have fun, be safe. You know, very hard finding like-minded people that just kind of want to sit and chat over a nice cup of tea. You know what I mean? So yeah, I it's not very hard balancing my schoolwork, and also I'm a freshman, so I'm taking 100 class or 100 classes. So not really the most intense workload. If this was an intense workload, I don't think college was for me then. But yeah, I just don't really party or anything like that. I would much rather either be alone or be with like-minded people, and I'm kind of waiting for them to kind of show up in my life. You know what I mean? My day-to-day eating is what can only be described as completely uh, fricked and bamboozled because I literally am at the mercy of my dining hall, which is right over there. I'm on top of my dining hall right now, little balcony area, because I'm at the mercy of them for serving high protein stuff. Even though they mostly serve carbs, very cheap carbs, not complex carbs, um, and they'll serve pork sometimes. And I eat pork, but I'm saying pork as is like the worst macros to calorie ratio like ever. So my day-to-day eating consists of pretty much whatever protein I can get a hold of. I only eat protein in the morning, like very little carbs. Still some carbs because your brain runs on glucose.
You need carbs. Your brain runs on glucose. I'm not, you for simple cognitive functions. You need
Anyone know that reference from Fall Guy? No, not Fall Guy. Whatever the one that has Ryan Gosling in it. But yeah, your brain does need glucose, so no carb diets don't work, and you will crash. I know from experience. So I'm at the mercy of my dining hall, and I mainly eat my carbs around training time. So lunch, maybe I'll have like a little bit more carbs, and then I have a pre-workout meal around like 5 o'clock ish, and I eat that, and then I have an hour commute to the gym, so I might eat a lot just to make sure I'm digested and not hungry during my training. I have an hour commute to the gym because I have to take the bus from my dorm to the train station, wait for the train. The train gets there. I have to go past 3 stops of the train, get off the train, and then I have to walk like 6 minutes to my gym. So uh, the things we do, right? And the thing is, I have an on-campus gym, but I just don't like it because I don't like seeing people I know see me training because I look like a maniac if I'm gonna be honest. Because I train hard. Oh, last question: gay dad or thought mom? Very interesting question. Very introspective. I think the looking at it from a purely statistical standpoint and logical standpoint, without any internal biases, the gay dad would be better. Because if you are to have a thought mom, if your mom is promiscuous and provocative, oftentimes kids will make fun of you for your mother. And unfortunately, especially if you're a guy, those insults and jokes can hit really hard, because in theory, they could become promiscuous with your mother if she so ever hands it out that easily. Now, gay dad, one, you're immune to all your mama jokes. Two, if anyone says my dad could beat up your dad, you could say, but can your dad beat up my dad's? You know what I mean? So you have twice the manpower in the household. You know what I mean? And truly, you kind of have a title, because you have twice the manhood. You are raised in a purely testosterone household. So I truly do think gay dad is the better option here, because thought mom simply brings no positives to the table. But yeah, maybe I'll do one more of these a little later on, just because this is fun. I like to get to know you guys. Yes, you, Jake. Imagine I just freaked one of you out right there. But I do get to like to know you guys, and this is very fun for me. I'm not gonna lie. This is really cool. Like I can't believe like this is like real. You know what I mean? Because I used to have like a Fortnite YouTube channel that didn't get any views, and I thought I was gonna be like the next big Fortnite YouTuber. But this is so weird. Like revisiting this. This is like this is so awesome. But I'm eternally thankful to all of you for getting me out of my shell and helping me kind of do this. Shout out to Bryce and Soam again. I love you guys so much, and I genuinely miss you guys back in Missouri. I'll be back Thanksgiving though, where you guys will probably get to meet them. We'll have some fun lifts where I will squat 495. 495 will fall, people. It will fall. Love.